it because
Oh no.
uh,
Oh
I
no.
mean, you know it is. Okay,
Okay.
so to begin, we're gonna define beauty and also define celebrity. I guess we'll do the general terms because I really don't know what a celebrity is because when we were talking behind the scenes, I mentioned, well, you mentioned somebody on YouTube. I'm like, oh, they're celebrity. You're like, no, they're not celebrity. I'm like, oh, I don't know what a celebrity is. So why don't you go first?
I think you was right back then actually. I think I was wrong. So I when I sat down and actually thought about what a celebrity is, I was thinking anybody who is famous basically.
Mhm.
So I think back then what I was thinking was people on YouTube aren't celebrities in terms of mainstream media. I think that's what I was thinking. But they are celebrities in terms of like a lot of people know who they are. So they
Gotcha.
are famous. So yeah.
So I went and actually looked it up. So celebrity is a state of being well known. And I think that's where the trouble comes in because you have to define what's well known.
Yeah.
So a well-known person or thing is known a lot about by a lot of people and therefore famous or familiar. If someone is well known for a particular activity, a lot of people know about them because they're involved in the activity. So I guess a YouTuber can be someone that's a celebrity. But to go even deeper, they're known as influencers. That's the term that we use now. So I was like, okay, what's an influencer? So I have two different sites. One says that it starts from 6,000 followers to 10,000, and one says from 10,000 to 50,000. So I'm gonna combine them and say between 6,000 to 50,000 followers, you're a micro influencer. You're beginning to get there, and then anything beyond that into the millions, you're definitely an influencer.
So would you say being an influencer and a celebrity are the same thing?
Yeah,
Because I
because
always thought the influencer was just someone who people go to when they wanted ideas for like how to dress or maybe I want to cook tonight. Like I thought that's what influencer. I guess what I thought influencer was is someone who basically sells ads,
mm,
which I guess every celebrity can do too.
yep.
But I think like an influencer, they specifically market themselves for that, whereas a celebrity is more like, well, I want to be a singer or an actor or whatever else. They're not specifically targeting like I want to be sellable.
Maybe an influencer is a specific niche in being a celebrity, where you instead of being an actor, you're I don't know selling products. And also, it's like a subsection of being a celebrity. I think that would be a better fit.
Yeah, because I see a lot of IG models like saying they are influencers,
Mm.
and that's a whole other subsection. Like now you could become a model on your own. Just go on IG, Instagram, and boom, I'm an IG model now.
Well, you have to get your traction first. You can't just say it. Once you get to that 10,000 followers, then you could say, you're an IG model.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought you could just claim it. Like I could just go, I could just start dressing well, shave,
Yeah.
pluck my eyebrows, go on Instagram and be like, hey, I'm an IG model now. Like, yo, come look at me.
I mean, you can always sell yourself as one in the beginning, and then people will go to look at you, follow you, and then you could build your thing from there. But I think to say that, you need to actually have that quality. Oh, what's the pictures gone? All right, cool.
So,
Okay,
do you think as a qualifier, like who is the most famous person alive, like something like that?
I think I'm sure we could look it up and find something about it. I think that would be like the most well known person. But then again, there's so many well known people. It's hard to figure out who is like the top, most well known person. Well, I'm sure it may exist on some graph or some ranking post somewhere. So now, before we can start the episode as well, we have to define what beauty is, I guess, in the general term.
All right. So, I guess I'll go first. So beauty is hard for me to define because I feel like there's the conventional beauty, and then there's what I consider beautiful. You know, so like I think conventional beauty are like features in your face or features of your body. I heard someone once say the world doesn't actually have a problem with people being fat.
Mm,
They have a problem with people being fat in the wrong places.
mm,
I think that's true. Like if you have a woman with an hourglass shape, like you don't care if she's 300 pounds, but if you have a woman who looks like an apple and she's 300 pounds, you're like gross. Well, most people. And same for men. Like if you have a man who is fat, like 300 pounds, but he just looked like blubber, then you're like gross. But if he looks like a football player, then you're like, okay, this guy looking good.
mm.
So I think it really depends
Yeah.
in terms of weight. But in terms of looks, I think often we go to the European Eurocentric uh, what's the word rating.
Mm,
But I don't go to that because I grew up in an island where everyone is black. So I never got indoctrinated into that kind of thinking where I think white features are more pretty. Um, Although there was some colorism, I didn't experience that myself. I actually prefer darker skinned women.
mhm.
Actually, I like the extremes, like darker skin or really, really light skin. I don't really like the middle,
Yeah.
but I don't prefer the middle. Although my wife is in the middle, so I guess I do prefer it.
Yeah.
Um, but I think beauty is kind of hard to define. I look at the definition on the internet, and it was saying that basically beauty is looking appealing. It
Yeah.
was a very simple definition.
Mhm.
But I think my definition is the overall, all the major characteristics of a person, including their personality, their morals, their appearance, and how they keep themselves. I think all those characteristics make me decide if a person is beautiful. So it's not just about how they look, it's also about their personality and other things that factor in.
Gotcha. Gotcha. My goal this podcast is to look more into the camera, but I'm also the producer, so I gotta look and make sure we look good at the same time. So if you see me looking away, I'm just trying to adjust our camera so that Mino is looking nice and handsome over there with his ladies. All right. Now I can continue. It's hard to be a producer and be part of the show, man. Anyways,
I feel that.
beauty to me was also hard to define because if I look at my track record of who I was attracted to, they were all beautiful in their own way, and it wasn't just outward beauty. And I got a lot of heat for dating certain girls because people would be like, "Why you date everybody?" I'm just like, "Ouch, ouch for me and ouch for them." Like, yeah, you can't be doing that kind of stuff. But what Merriam-Webster has is that inner and outer beauty stimulates the mind in some way, and I think that's the most appealing definition to me because when you look at somebody, your senses, your eye, your sight is being appealed to. When you talk to somebody, then that stimulates your mind as well. Their voice can stimulate your mind as well. Like, so I think beauty is hard to narrow it down to what exactly it is, but everybody has their own standard for beauty. And I feel like that's where we should be and let everybody do it on their own terms. But also have like I guess a standard of beauty, but not necessarily one that segregates, which will come later down the show. We have to talk about that. You already brought up Eurocentric. There's Afrocentric, which we're going to talk about because we're from that background and we found some stuff while doing research for the show. And yeah. So part two of that question. Oh, go ahead.
No, you can go ahead.
Oh, part two of that question you kind of answered was what makes someone attractive to us. And I'll answer it. Initially, when I see somebody and I look at their face, if they have a very appealing face, I'm gonna want to talk to them. If they have like a certain physique, I'm gonna want to talk to them. You know, Left Side. If you know from the Caribbean and you know who Left Side is, he made a song that is me. That's my song. There. I'm not gonna say what the song says. But go dig for yourself.
You might have to post it in Discord for me because I want to hear it right
I
now.
already
But
shared it. I already shared it with you.
oh, okay, okay, okay.
It's the I Am Blessed remix. Yeah, but then after that, when I'm talking to somebody, what they're saying, how they're saying it, and their volume is also factors that can change attraction or make them be attractive to me. And after that, it's just as it comes.
Right. So you mentioned something that I have a story about, basically, where you date a girl who is not traditionally attractive, and people like basically try and judge you for it.
Mhm.
It didn't happen to me, but it happened to a friend of mine in high school. So I don't know if she was not attractive, but she had a reputation.
Mhm.
Um, so when he started dating her, everybody was just clowning him, like, "Dude, how you could date that girl?" And you know about her past and all kind of stuff they were telling him. And I guess it's not really related to beauty because really and truly it was more based on her reputation more than her looks.
Mhm.
But just like how society does that is like they clown people for dating someone. It's like they want to make that person into an outcast in a way. And I think like a lot of people already struggle with feeling like having self-esteem and stuff like that,
Mhm.
especially women. I feel a lot of women I feel struggle with self-esteem because the world pretty much puts almost all their value in how they look. And so, you look at magazines and stuff, you see all these MAGA women. By the way, for the audience, MAGA and my island mean super skinny, like you look too skinny.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like you have all these MAGA women in the covers of these magazines, and then you have girls with normal, healthy body types and body weights trying to look like them. I don't know if that happens with black women that often because we don't have much representation.
Mm.
But I know for other races, maybe mostly white, they have issues like anorexia and bulimia and stuff where they try and throw up so they could lose weight and stuff. And I think part of it is because of these like weird standards for beauty that we propagate. You know?
One of the weird things about, not weird, but interesting things about this podcast is that there's never enough research you can do because now you brought up a whole different topic we could dive into that we didn't prepare for, which is like body standards and how you look at yourself. I'm sure there's tons of data about it, but I've known people that have had those kind of issues where they want to look skinny, but to me, they're perfectly fine. But they just can't shake that notion that I need to be skinny, I need to look this way, my hair gotta be like this, you know. And you said we have no representation, but we do. It's just not from us. So we try and replicate what we see, even though it's not us. We want to be like that. And I found some stuff about that as well. And, and I just want to say I love this podcast. That's all I want to say. I'm the biggest fan here.
Well, thank you. We love you too, man. We love you too, bro.